And the next few months, you are going to double your money, triple, or even multiply it 10 times if you watch this video to the end. If you have watched my video on stock investing, or if you have been following me on social media, you will know that I don't promote any risky investment. I follow very strict rules that have been tested and trusted by smart billionaire investors. On stocks, I derive my rules mostly from Warren Buffett's and Charlie Munger's value investing principles. And my crypto investing rules are a simple modification of these time-tested core principles of investing. I'll share these rules briefly with you so you can be able to make your own analysis. If you look at this crypto over here, okay, November of 2024, it was at $3.5, $3.6. And then by December, barely a month, it was at $11.5. That's like a 3 times increase. If you put in $1,000 in November, you will have $3,000 by December. If you look at this crypto over here, the same November 2024, it was at $0.48. By January, that's barely 2 months, it was at $3.3. That's like a 6 times or more. So if you put in $1,000 in this crypto in November, then it means that within 2 months, your $1,000 would have turned to $6,000. So I showed you these few examples so you know that I am not exaggerating when I say that if you watch this video to the end, you will find crypto investments that can double, triple, or even give you a 10 times return on your investment. In this video, I'll be sharing not 1, not 2, but 7 cryptocurrencies with strong fundamentals, big discounts, and potential for 3 times to 10 times return when the market recovers. So if you're ready, let's dive right in. Before we start, I want you to subscribe to this channel now if you have not done so already. Then click on the notification bell so that each time I release a time-sensitive video like this, you will be immediately notified. Bitcoin is probably the strongest cryptocurrency, and I have it, and I recommend you have it as well. However, it is not here because we are looking at cryptos that will give us 3 times or 10 times our money in the short term. For very long-term holdings, maybe I'll make a separate video on that. Number 1 on that should be Bitcoin. Before we get to the cryptocurrencies, let me quickly share my rules with you. Number 1 rule is moat. A moat is a project's unbeatable advantage. I do it in stocks, I do it in cryptocurrencies. Second is utility. Does it solve a real world problem? Maybe it's a coin used in an exchange, maybe it's a coin used for deping, maybe it's an oracle, or maybe it has DeFi. It must have utility, not just a coin that was created to make money, okay? The third thing we are looking out for is the supply type. Most people don't check this. Now, coins are either fixed, inflationary, or deflationary. A fixed coin is a situation where you have a coin with maybe a maximum supply of 1 billion or 10 billion or 100 billion, whatever the number, but the number is fixed. It cannot increase. An inflationary coin is a coin where new coins are printed daily or monthly or yearly, meaning that there is an increasing supply of that coin. This is very important because if that inflation is high, you know that your money is not safe, right? Because the more coins that come into the market, the more the value will come down. Then some coins are deflationary. These are coins that occasionally some of that coin is being destroyed, meaning that the supply of that coin is going down. Then our fourth metric is future catalyst. What we mean by that is the upgrades that are coming up, any partnership, any regulatory problems or wins, and then finally we look at the risk. What could go wrong? Risk assessment is very, very important. If you don't do risk assessment, that is why most people lose money in cryptocurrencies. So what are the risks? These are the 5 metrics that we're going to be applying on these 7 coins. And these 5 metrics will help us to rank this coin from number 7 all the way up to number 1. Let me quickly say that this is not a complete tokenomics class because there are many more metrics for measuring the tokenomics of a coin. We are simply focused right now on what is happening in the markets. That is why I selected only these 5 metrics, okay? If you really want to master tokenomics so I can be able to select tokens or crypto by yourself, at any point in time, whether the market is down or whether the market is up, then I'll suggest you go to the link so that you can have access to these materials where I gave a detailed lecture on tokenomics. So starting at number 7 is Polkadot. First, let's look at the moats. Polkadot has a unique parachain technology which is being used by LinkedIn and even BMW. This parachain technology gives Polkadot a very unique feature which we call interoperability. Interoperability is the ability of multiple blockchains to communicate with each other, because one of the greatest problems we have in the cryptocurrency industry is that most blockchains don't talk to each other. The Ethereum blockchain is on its own, Solana blockchain is on its own, and all of that. They don't talk to each other. So this parachain technology allows multiple blockchains to build on top of Polkadot, while the Polkadot base layer provides the blockchain security for these blockchains. However, why is Polkadot on number 7? Basically because Polkadot is inflationary. It has an inflation rate of about 10% per annum. This means that the Polkadot coins are increasing by 10% every year. Although there's a new vote to upgrade and stop this inflation, but that has not been passed. So when that vote passes, then Polkadot will definitely come up in our list. But for now, that inflation for me is quite high. Now let's quickly look at the charts to see how much we can make in Polkadot, when we should go in, when we should go out. If you look quickly at the chart, you will notice that November 2024, Polkadot rose to around $11. Right now is down to about $4. So you can easily predict, you can see the cycle from here again. It was at 3, then it went up to 11, down to 3 again, up to 11. So this is a very simple cycle to predict. It's now down, and from this point we can easily predict a 3x, okay, which is around 16 over here, okay, or at the very least a 2x, which should be around here. All right, so this is a good time to enter into Polkadot. I will not recommend you hold it for a very long time. It's not a long-term holding. However, if we look at the overall chart of Polkadot, you will notice that it was once trading at around $53. So it is nowhere near that all-time high. However, this all-time high was made on November of 2021. And that was during the major 2021 bull run. So we're not looking at this. This is a potential. It could happen. But what we are looking at is what we can do in the next couple of months. And we are almost sure that in the next couple of months, Polkadot is going to return back to this place at the very least. You can see the cycle. It has done it several times. And this is the lowest it could go, somewhere here, 3.5. So it could easily come up here. And from 3 to 10 is a very easy 3x. Number 6 on our list is Tokenomics or Thon. Thon has a massive user base. It is backed by Telegram's 900 million users, and this could explode if they play their cards right. So this massive user base of Telegram is the major moat that Thon or Tokenomics has, because it's very easy to onboard many people into Thon. As we saw when we had all this tap to earn, the hamster combat and all of that, people who don't even know anything about cryptocurrency easily got into the game because of the Telegram ecosystem. So this is their major moat. Okay, inside Telegram you can use Thon to make payments, to pay for advertisements and stuff like that. And they have integrated that wallet. Anyone that has Telegram, whether you are into crypto or not, you already have a Thon wallet in your Telegram. Thon is mildly inflationary. The inflation rate is not like Polkadot, which is 10%. Inflation rate is just about 0.6%. The reason why Tokenomics is on number 6 is because it's going to face a lot of competition from Ethereum and Solana. It's still building up its ecosystem, and only time can tell if it will be able to compete with giants like Ethereum or Solana. The Thon chart is looking very good. Why do I say that? Thon has not experienced a bull market. This is the highest it has gone, about 7. And then this is the lowest it has gone, around 2.5. So this is the only thing that we have because it's a relatively new coin, came out in the third quarter of 2024. However, the capitalization is already high, and I think that this is a very good entry point. It doesn't have an established market cycle, but we can easily say that getting back to 7 will be a very easy one. It's about 2x or thereabouts. So we project 2-3x in the next couple of months, but because it has not had a bull market, if we are investing for a longer term, 4-5x will not be a problem in a couple of years. Number 5 on our list is Avalanche. The major moat for Avalanche is that Avalanche blockchain can be customized, and many institutions like JP Morgan are actually customizing their blockchain for their own specific use case. In terms of utility, Avalanche has blazing fast transactions, in fact 2 seconds finality. Because of this high speed, a lot of DeFi are built on Avalanche. For instance, Trader Joe. And of course, the Evers coin is used by all these DeFi applications to pay for transaction fees. And that brings us to the supply. Avalanche is deflationary. And that's very interesting. Some of the fees used in transaction are actually burned. Burning means destroyed. And so the supply of Avalanche goes down. The main risk we see with Avalanche is that it is not well known outside of the crypto circle. So retail investors actually ignore it. Avalanche therefore will need to promote their project much more if they hope for mass adoption. The Avalanche chart is looking very interesting. If you look over here, we are obviously at the very low level down here, but just in December, it rose to as high as $55. From where we are to this point is already 2x. That's the easiest prediction you can make. You can be sure that you will double your money on Avalanche in the next couple of months. However, if you even go backwards a little bit, Avalanche has not reached its all-time high, which we did, of course, in the bull market of 2021, where we got to 139. This is a long-term forecast, and so if you have confidence in the project, you can invest for the long term. But we are looking at the short term right now, and we know for certain that we can easily double our money with Avalanche. That brings us to number 4 on the list, which is Solana. Now, Solana prides itself as the fastest layer 1, and that is its moat. Its high speed is the moat. As a result of that, they have actually onboarded some very strong brands like Visa and Shopify. In terms of utility, currently, Solana has a lot of use cases, and the most powerful factor that pushed Solana up in the last pump was the ability of anybody to create cryptocurrency on Solana using the platform Pump. So on this Pump platform, anyone can create tokens based on Solana, and many people did. Of course, it didn't go so well. All of these tokens are meme coins with no real world use case, all right? So as a result, a lot of people also lost money. But because it made it very easy for anyone to create cryptocurrency, if you look at the charts over here, we saw what happened here. Just January of this year, Solana went to as high as 292. And that was driven mainly by this Pump platform. Currently, it has come down, and if we look at the chart, we know that 250 will be an easy target for Solana in the next couple of months. So Solana can almost guarantee a quick 2x return on your investments. However, there are some risks or reservations with Solana. The first one is their persistent network outage. Many blockchains do not have outages. Solana has experienced several network outages, and this is stemming from the fact that it is not fully decentralized like Ethereum, for example. Solana is not fully decentralized. As a result, we have a situation where often when there is very high transaction, the network goes out. So that is a risk, and they have tried to address it over time, and we are not yet sure that the issue has been fully addressed. The second problem with Solana is their supply. Solana is actually inflationary, currently at around 8%. That means there is no fixed cap, all right? You can't say that this is the maximum. it is continually increasing. However, they have a similar bond mechanism to Ethereum, which they claim will reduce the inflation rate from 8% to 1.5%. But it will never be fixed and it will not be deflationary. So the best case scenario we are looking at is 1.5%. Personally, my investment philosophy, especially in cryptocurrency, is never to keep a lot of money in any assets that is inflationary. So for Solana, I will suggest you invest for short to medium term. However, I must say that Solana has a very strong community and many people believe in Solana and they have speed on their side. The speed of the network is extremely fast, so they have it on their side. Looking into the future, one major catalyst for Solana will be the Fire Dancer upgrade. Now, this upgrade is supposed to come up sometime within 2025, and it's supposed to ensure that these frequent blockchain outages is completely eliminated with a 99.9% uptime, amongst other things. So if that Fire Dancer upgrade actually goes through, then I think that Solana has a much higher chance of not just increasing in value, but maintaining their lead. Number 3 on my list is SRP. SRP has been battling a lawsuit with the SEC in the United States for a very long time. However, this has turned around to become their moat right now, because for the first time, SRP is the only cryptocurrency apart from Bitcoin that the SEC and the court has agreed this cryptocurrency is not a security, giving it regulatory clarity, at least in the United States. Apart from that, it is one of the cryptocurrency that has been selected by the administration of President Trump to become one of the crypto they will use for the United States cryptocurrency reserve, which is being planned. In terms of utility, SRP is used for cross-border payments for banks. So it has utility not just in the retail sector. No, it has utility amongst banks and major financial institutions. Then again, the supply is fixed. The maximum supply for SRP is 100 billion tokens, and these are being slowly released from escrow. And the chart of SRP is looking somehow. If you look at it, for many years, all the way from 2022, it has been just cycling between 0.2, 0.3 to 0.4, just like that. It was doing it up until October of last year, and then boom, it went all the way up to 3.3. And what happened here was when they gained clarity, the victory over the SEC. That was what happened. And then many people came into SRP. Now, you know that institutions are heavily into SRP. So most of the holders are institutions. Now, SRP is not really down, but why do we put it in the list? 1, it is solidly backed by institutions, banks, and so on. 2, it has regulatory clarity. 3, we expect that as soon as we have a bull market, SRP can easily go to 4 or 5 or even more. Some other people are looking at very high numbers, but I'm always very conservative in my estimates. So I think 4 is very easy for SRP to do in the very next market pump. Okay, so currently it's a safe coin. One reason why it's not even moving so high is because of the high number of tokens that are being released monthly. They have a maximum of 100 billion tokens. So that is even the reason why it has not gone so high. So in the short term, SRP is a token that can easily give us a 2x or 3x return on our investment. Coming to number 2 on our list is Chainlink. Chainlink is currently the backbone of the DeFi ecosystem. When we talk about DeFi, we're talking about decentralized finance. It is an oracle. An oracle is what gives the blockchain access to information from the outside world. Okay, blockchain is a closed system. For it to have information like, say, weather report, stock price from the outside world, it needs an oracle. So, Chainlink is the major oracle between all the blockchains and the real world, and that is its biggest moat. 70% of the oracle market is captured by Chainlink. Even Swift uses Chainlink, and that ties into their utility. Chainlink has secured over $20 billion in DeFi value because, as I just said, 70% of the Oracle market is captured by Chainlink. Also, the huge amount of data that Chainlink has accumulated are very useful resources for the training of AI. Another great thing about Chainlink is that the supply is fixed. There can only be 1 billion link tokens. No new tokens are going to be created, and more importantly, most of these tokens are already in circulation. Quite unlike SRP, most of the 100 billion tokens are not yet in circulation. They are being released monthly. So that's another score for Chainlink. Now, if you look at the charts over here, we can see that Chainlink is down now. In December of 2024, it was at $30. So from here to here is an easy 2x, and definitely it will get to this point in the next couple of months. So this is an easy 2x. If you look at the whole chart, all-time high in 2021 bull market was around 51. So if you are willing to hold on for the long term, this is something you should be targeting as well. However, for a quick 2x on your money, you can go in right now, and the next couple of months you can exit at around 30 on your money. That brings us to number 1 on the list, which is Ethereum. And you are wondering why. So why is Ethereum number 1 on our list? Well, Ethereum has ticked all the boxes. Definitely after Bitcoin, Ethereum is the next crypto. If Bitcoin is gold, Ethereum is silver. Why it made this list and Bitcoin did not is because Bitcoin had its own pump a few months ago and went all the way up to 100,000 and above, but Ethereum has not moved. Take a look at the charts. Ethereum has not been able to break the all-time high, which is set 2021, which was around 4,800. It has not been able to reach that so far. So we expect a lot of things from Ethereum, bearing in mind that after the Bitcoin ETF, Ethereum ETF has also been approved. So meaning that it's available for institutional investors to go into it, and many of them are going into it. Not only that, Ethereum has 80% of the DeFi ecosystem. Chainlink is built on Ethereum, Sushi is built on Ethereum, and so many other applications, they are built on Ethereum. So that is a kind of moat for Ethereum. It's basically an institutional blockchain. In terms of utility, Ethereum is actually used by not just retail investors, but major institutions. For example, JP Morgan, Visa, BlackRock, Vanguard, all these major financial institutions are using Ethereum. And that gives it a strong utility. And again, in terms of supply, Ethereum is deflationary. Since they started the EIP 1559, the fees on Ethereum are being burned. And in most cases, especially when the transaction is very high, Ethereum becomes highly deflationary. And now that is very good for someone who wants to invest in Ethereum for the long term. However, there are risks. Ethereum is facing very strong challenge from Solana. And that is basically the major risk because Solana is very fast, while Ethereum has always had issues with speed. Although the layer 2s on Ethereum are solving this problem, and looking at the chart of Ethereum, we can see Ethereum is very down. However, if you look at in January or December, it went up to $4,000. From $2,000 to $4,000 is a very easy 2x on your money. So this is a very good place to come into Ethereum for a quick 2x. For the long term, you can predict a 10x. So Ethereum will get to $20,000, but that will be a long term. It's not something that will happen in a year or 2 years. But say in 2 to 4 years, we can expect to see a $10,000 Ethereum, which is about 5x from where it is currently. So for all the cryptocurrencies we have seen in this list, if you want to go in for just a couple of months, then you'll be expecting 2x to 3x on your money. If you are willing to stay longer in the markets for like 5 to 10 years, then for cryptos like Ethereum, Chainlink, SRP, Solana, Avalanche, Tokenomics, you can expect a 10x return on your investment. Now, if you are really very serious about making money in cryptocurrency, or at least understanding the fundamentals of cryptocurrency, I will highly suggest that you take our course. The link is in the description below. In this course, you will learn the fundamentals of cryptocurrency. You will learn about the different categories of cryptocurrency. You will master the tokenomics of cryptocurrency, so you will be able to evaluate any cryptocurrency, whether in the bear market or in the bull market. Also, you will know how to buy cryptocurrency, how to safely store cryptocurrency, how to sell cryptocurrency, and the different business opportunities available in the crypto ecosystem. You also learn how to manage your money and create wealth through DeFi. You learn everything about ICOs, that is initial coin offerings, and IEOs, where smart investors often make 1,000 to 10,000 times return on their investment. For instance, those that invested in Ethereum ICO so far has made an average return of 11,000 times on their initial investment, which means that $1 invested in Ethereum ICO is worth $11,000 today. Those that invested in Binance ICO has made about 3,500x return on their investment. So these are some of the things you will learn in this course. What are ICOs? How to identify ICOs that will do well, just like Ethereum, Solana, or Binance. This course is all you need to understand every single aspect of the cryptocurrency industry. Today's video is sponsored by Nebulous Exchange. So all the coins that we have discussed today, you can easily buy any of them on Nebulous. Just go to nebulous.org, create your account, deposit USDT, and you'll be able to buy these coins. Depending on the country where you're from, you can actually buy with your local currency. So you can buy cryptocurrency with crypto like USDT. You can also buy with US dollars, or with, say, a local currency like the Nigerian Naira. Nebulous is a highly secure exchange that uses a deep freeze technology to ensure that clients' assets are safely stored at all times. But having said all that, let me be clear, this is not financial advice. Crypto is volatile, and even the best projects can crash. Always do your own research, diversify, and never invest more than you are willing to lose. Now, if you found this video very helpful, please smash that like button, subscribe, and share it with one friend who needs to hear this. When the market turns around and it's well, you will both be glad you did. Thanks for watching, and see you next time. Peace.